Aye, if you say that you really know ball, then you should easily be able to recognize this show. Man, the variety of action that Sym-Bionic Titan had 7-year-old me mesmerized. From the hand-to-hand fight scenes, giant mech vs kaiju boss fights, the car races, and the overall plot. Don't worry, we will be visiting this integral scene later on. But first, some background knowledge in case you've forgotten. So our main characters, Lance, Ilana, and Octus, are forced to flee from their home planet due to a military coup. Ilana's father is the king of that planet, so in order to save his only daughter, he sent her on his ship that crash landed onto Earth. They might look like normal humans, but they have access to some insane tech. Tony Stark ain't got shit on them. When they activate the device on their wrist, they can each activate a specific type of armor, which is badass by itself. But when a real threat is present, and I'm talking a massive threat, even larger than the type of girls you be taking home after the club, they all combine together on their Power Ranger type timing and form the Sym-Bionic Titan and have some absolute wars against monsters and kaijus. And we'll cover some of these fights later on, but right now I want to talk about the car race episode, because even after all these years, I still remember this one. Alright, so the three are on their way to school, and we see little glimpses of a badass car zooming, while police cars are trying to catch up to them. That's when Lance sees it, a fully customized and modded out Porsche GT3.
Well, actually, Zushi, it's more akin to the Nissan GTR.
All I'm saying is this was gas back then and still now, glistening more than Lil Durk's fake jewelry. This the type of aura those cars had at the start of Cars 1. Anyways, turns out the driver inside must be Turbo's son, cause he's absolutely devastated with the cops who are chasing them. And this guy is pissed. I feel for his wife and kids. They get to school and that's when the pink car pulls up, blasting straight ignorance out of his JBL speakers. That's when Asian fine shit steps out of the car. Keep in mind, this is meant to be a kid's show. No wonder our generation is filled up with BBL bandits. We were force-fed bills like these in our childhoods. I'm looking especially at you, Turtle Drama. From the driver's side steps out this Chad. He pops the trunk, flexing the illegal mods he's put on his car. That's when Lance pulls up mesmerized, trying to touch it. If I was Lance, that's not the thing I'd be trying to touch, you know what I'm saying? He slams the hood shut and it's like, what the hell are you doing? These guys are 100% super seniors. They should have been retired 6 years ago. They try pressing Lance, telling him if he ever touches it again, that's the last time he'll ever use that arm. And look at this man's stance. He was about to throw the meanest haymaker ever, but the bell rings so they walk off. Lance says a dickhead like him don't deserve a car like this, so we should create our own from scratch. They make a basic model out of popsicle sticks, and another freaky scene is put in for no reason. This is how Irwin was moving when he was sucking on that line, trying to impress Mandy. This must be what inspired Shannon Sharp. The car guy pulls up, his name is Mike Chan by the way, and he destroys Lance's car model, you know, just to be a dickhead. We get a mini montage of Lance and Octus fixing up a busted up car, adding their alien tech inside, so you know it's gonna have some crazy specs. The car looks I still prefer the pink one, but this is cool. I also want to point out their use of 2D and 3D animation. It's already a cool looking show, style wise, but the way they mix the two is so clean. Lance decides to take his car out for a short trip around the block, but guess whose punk ass pulls up next to him? Mike asks him where his boyfriend is, trying to rile him up. He talks to his girl and she does not respond. There might not be anything inside that head. He challenges him to a race, and this is where peak is about to begin. Lance follows him to their spot, and tell me why this guy comes crashing in like Lightning McQueen in Cars 3. The car starts flaming up as well, and they don't show anyone getting out either. His girl steps out to officiate the race, and they both take off, both drifting the first corner, and Lance is locked in. We cut to a first person POV, and we can tell bro is moving, getting distracted for just 1 second, and the guy almost dies. Somehow swerved in the last minute to dodge it. This is like when you turn up to a 2-man and see your homie did you dirty by giving you a whole whale. You gotta spend the whole day swerving and dodging that shit. Don't let her get too close. Mike Chan decides to pop his ult and smokes Lance. And bro, you cannot tell me he's not trying to kill this man. First the truck setup, now the steel pole. Like, what is this? Lance, with the reaction time of that one autistic guy on IG, manages to drift out of the way. They're both staring into each other's eyes, kinda romantic. For the first time in the race, Lance takes the lead, but you know this guy has some BS up his sleeve. His hobo-looking friend cuts Lance off, forcing him to divert. And mind you, these guys are in high school. Why the hell do they want to kill him so badly? Lance drops down, and this is the kind of stuff Exhibit would swear to you he could get your car to do if he pimped your ride. The two are level with each other till Mike decides to do him as badly as Speed did Ashton Hall. But you know, Lance ain't about to go out as sad as that. And what in the Fast and Furious is this? Vin Diesel will look you straight in the eyes and tell you this movie is realistic and grounded, whilst at the same time doing some BS like this. The race is about to end with Lance in the lead. I have no words. What even is this? Somebody go check up on that guy, because there's no way that was the original plan. The race ends and Lance is saying it how it is. Lance tells him to step out because he's about to whoop his ass, but the popo arrive and arrest him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blickies pointing at him is crazy, by the way. Turns out the police are doing all this because they're a notorious gang known as the White Dragon. There's a whole nother segment with Lance taking his driver's test and the White Dragon trolling him. And by trolling, I mean trying to kill him. And it ends with them fighting a giant alien. So you know, your average regular show episode. But what isn't regular is this freaky ass scene. So you're telling me a grown man thought of this scene, wrote it, showed it to other grown adults, who then animated this abomination and was greenlit by Cartoon Network? And no, I'm not going to talk about the complexities and nuances of this scene and how she's conforming to the societal viewpoint of over-sexualized femininity. Just know, there was no reason for them to add this freaked out scene that went on for a whole 50 seconds. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm surprised Cartoon Network even greenlit this show. It had a lot of moments and scenes where they really pushed the boundaries. On my rewatch, I'm surprised with how brutal the fight scenes were. And with the whole Lance's backstory, that alien that had those borderline torture scenes was way more intense than I remembered. But surprisingly, that wasn't the reason why the show was cancelled. We only got one season, and the reason it was cancelled so early was because of its failed toy line. Kinda reminds me of how Young Justice was stopped. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.
You alright? Okay.